Story number one, the elections are coming. In case you missed it, Sunday was the last day to register. Have you registered? Let me know.
The ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa says government is committed to tackling corruption and restoring public trust. He has made the remarks in Emalahleni in Mpumalanga during the final voter registration weekend ahead of the 2026 local government elections. At the same time, some voters say as we gear up to the local government elections, they still face a number of challenges, including unemployment. The Department of Home Affairs says South Africa's ongoing efforts to manage migration and repatriate undocumented migrants, that effort, we're told, is improving.
November 4th, 2026. That is the date South Africans go to the polls for local government elections. And before we even get to what happened this weekend, I need you to understand the scale of what we are dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen. You see, the IEC just confirmed that there are now 620 political parties registered to contest this election. 620 parties in one country for local government. I want you to think about that. That is not a democracy. That is a buffet. That is human trafficking of political parties. That is South Africans saying, we have tried the chicken, we have tried the beef, we have tried the vegetarian opinion, and now someone is showing up with crocodile meat and we're actually considering it. But some just want to stay with the chicken even though it rotted a while ago. We might as well just get into the chaos right away. Ramaphosa kicked off the ANC's election campaign in Madibeng, Northwest. So he kicked it off. He kicked off the whole event. It was on Saturday. It was a big moment when Ramaphosa spits on a camera. Everybody's watching for some strange reason. All the girls were calling him Mr. Cupcake. And I never understood why that name made sense. But sometimes it doesn't have to, right? So the first day of the final voter registration weekend happened. And the president you all know and love so much after all he's done to you, the leader of the ANC, going to visit a royal palace as protocol requires before engaging with voters. He gets out of the car and Princess Itumeleng Moerane physically blocks him from entering the royal house. Not metaphorically, not in a tweet, not like a, yeah, Ramaphosa, how do you call yourself the president when many of my people are unemployed? None of that. He literally pulled up with his car and she said, you're not getting in. At the door, she stood there and told the president of South Africa, my brother, you ain't getting in. She accused him of failing to resolve a chieftaincy succession dispute that has been going on since 2016. 10 years. 10 years with no resolution. So apparently they've been beefing, but it hasn't been solved in 10 years. And Ramaphosa thought he could just come and act like nothing happened. She didn't forget. Multiple government commissions, reports that were never released. A community that has no recognized traditional leader while sitting on platinum and chrome-rich land. She told Ramaphosa there is no chief here, and she was not moving. Ramaphosa's response, he said, and I'm quoting him directly, I am the president. I greet everyone. Sir, you drove all the way to Northwest to start your election campaign, and your opening line to a princess of royalty blocking your path is, I'm the president. She knows, okay? I don't know if you think people have been sleeping under rocks, but as someone who knows how out of touch you are with your people because you don't even know what's going on here, she knows, in case you didn't know. And she doesn't care. She never did. That is the entire point of why she is standing in your way. To her, you are nothing but an old man with a ghost named Pala Pala. The standoff was eventually resolved when she was escorted away. Ramaphosa eventually went in and had a private meeting for about 20 to 30 minutes, came out, and then she apologized publicly. I would have never. She said her actions came from frustration over years of government inaction, which is why I would have never apologized if I was her, because Just because I apologized, it doesn't mean the government inaction wasn't true. Nothing about what this princess said is not true. Years of government inaction, correct. Block him. Should have pulled his pants down while you were at it. But here is what I want you to take from this beyond the drama. The woman and her community have been waiting for a resolution to a traditional leadership dispute since 2016. Arguably the least of their problems. Multiple commissions were held, multiple reports were written. None of them were ever released publicly. None of them were ever acted on. And the government showed up 10 years later, not to fix the problem, but to ask for votes. Are you kidding? Is that how out of touch you are? We've been suffering for 10 years. And then you're going to have the nerve, you're going to have the gall, the chutzpah to come to my city and ask me for a vote. Jump off a bridge. She didn't block a precedent. She blocked a decade of being ignored and showed Ramaphosa for those few seconds what it feels like. You know, like that movie in Rambo, where he goes to that guy who was trafficking girls, then he's like, this is what it feels like. And then he stabs him in the heart as the guy screams in pain. He rips his heart out and the guy watches it beat in front of him before he eventually dies. I'm sure that's what it felt for her. She was like, she channeled her inner Sylvester Stallone, her inner Rambo, and put the black things on her cheeks and put the red headband and went, this is what it feels like. You're not coming in. So yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of local government in South Africa told in one image of a princess standing in a doorway of a president.
A princess here at the Bapo Royal House. Miss Itumeleng, I would like to know, at this point, it's in the afternoon, how are you feeling?
I feel nervous, but I'm pleased that at least now there will be progress, because we've been ignored for so many years by a government that wants to install its own puppet that will now, access resources of this community. We have vast resources of chrome and platinum here, so as much as they're standing here saying Kgosi Mogale, we actually do not have a recognized Kgosi. What you heard was misleading. He's just brought out only to, just PR. But the community does not, he's never come to the community to do any work for this community. We've never had a single community meeting. He's just only at the beck and call of this government, because it seems maybe he owes them favors. Yeah.
So as a princess of the house, do you think the 7 days period given by the president will give any results at this point?
I believe so. We are a very, peaceful, non-confrontational people, and they're used to that. So, I believe now, with the attention that this is getting from the media, they have no choice but to actually attend to this matter. The same way that, in December, when we had the huge problem with illegal mining, it was ongoing, and for 2 years we were complaining about it, and nothing was done until it was something that trended on all media platforms. And only then was it attended. So sometimes, you just have to be militant, even though it's not really in your nature.
So if we were to speak lightly, within a period of 14 days, what would be your expectations from what occurred here today?
The truth. The truth.
What is the truth?
The truth is what has happened to all the commission reports from the commissions that we attended regarding this matter. We are subjected to commissions, but they don't release the reports. And then the community is left in limbo with no governance at all. We've been sitting for years without a traditional council, without a Kgosi. Madibeng is dysfunctional. We just left to our own devices. And that's why you've got so much crime, so much illegal mining, and all the other ills that are happening. There's absolutely no service delivery here. People don't have electricity, they don't have water, all because our politicians want to keep stealing the resources of this community.
11 million eligible South Africans have not even yet registered to vote ahead of this election. Guys, do we even want change at this point? 11 million. If you are watching this and you haven't registered, this weekend was your last chance. And you're probably watching this on Monday morning. You missed it. If you registered, good. November 4th is coming whether you are ready or not. This is your chance. This is your chance.